Hi, I'm Milana. Welcome to another video. In today's video, I thought that I would talk a bit about my experience in the modeling industry. So I first started modeling when I was either 17 or 18. I was signed to an agency. I won't say which agency, but I was signed to an agency when I was about 17 or 18, and this was a time before body positivity. So the woman who was the head of my modeling agency, she would tell us you should cut out carbs and you should cut out red meat, and basically that we should cut out everything except vegetables and grains. And I remember one day at the agency, the head woman got one of the girls up in front of everyone else, and this girl was 14 years old and she was tiny, and the head woman of the agency, she got this girl up in front of all of the other girls and she said, "See this girl? She has a perfect body. This is what your body should look like this tiny little 14-year-old girl." And she said that in front of all the other girls. So you might think that modeling would give you a lot of confidence, but conversely, in my experience, most of the girls who I knew, it was actually ruinous for their confidence. And I think that's because of the focus, so much focus and analysis of your own image. And for me, my confidence has never been lower than when I first started modeling, because modeling is also mainly rejection. You're going to castings and you're parading your body with all of these other girls' bodies, and it's just rejection after rejection. And it's not because there's necessarily anything wrong with you. It's just because you don't fit the brief for that job. And so modeling is mainly rejection, and it also forces you to conduct a deep analysis of all of your features all the time. You are constantly looking at your own image and looking at your own face and your own body, and just analyzing what parts of me are different to this girl, and what parts of me are better or worse, and just such a close analysis of your own face and body, it would drive anyone mad. Such a close analysis of your own face and your own features and your own body and your own flaws, it's really damaging to the psyche. So when I started modeling, I stopped eating basically completely, and I would only eat cranberries and nuts. I was in VCE, so I was in year 11 or 12. I started starving myself, but all the other girls were starving themselves. This was a time before body positivity, so everyone was starving themselves. Because if you went outside of the measurements that it said on your portfolio, then you were breaking your contract. Gaining weight was breaking your contract. So that was really harmful. I starved myself for years, and then for a long while I would live on just 2 iced coffees every day, or 2 bubble teas, and that's all I would have for the whole day. And I would show up to photo shoots and just dissociate through the whole photo shoot, and then afterwards I would analyze the images, and just I hated every one of the photos. I always hated all of the photos from my photo shoot. So when I started losing weight during this time, I started hearing people call me the hottest girl they'd ever seen. I heard from several different people called me the hottest girl they'd ever seen. And when I heard that, I basically went mad with power and lost my mind. So I just became obsessed with being perfect, with being physically perfect, with looking physically perfect from every angle at all times, which is not a noble pursuit. Trust me, it's not a noble pursuit. And I would go to photo shoots, and I started dissociating when I would go to photo shoots, and I would be standing in front of the camera, but then I would be dissociating. So I would be leaving my body and then floating up above my body and then watching my body down below. And that started happening a lot. But also I just became so obsessed with being physically perfect and with perfecting my own image that I abandoned all other areas of my life. I just became obsessed with looking physically perfect from every angle all the time. And it was so dissatisfying and depressing, because it was never enough. It was never perfect enough. No matter how perfect I looked in every photo, it was never perfect enough. And people would be like, "Oh my goodness, you're so beautiful." And I would look at the photos and I would only see the flaws. And I started wearing nose magic, these nose magic inserts to like change the shape of your nose. This was before I got a nose job, and like I would wear them for so long that like my whole face would be numb, and like I would be wearing nose magic and like my face would be numb, and then I would be like starving, so like my whole body would be like just numb from pain, and I would just be like, oh well, that doesn't matter, like nothing matters as long as I look physically perfect from every angle, nothing matters. And then because I stopped eating, I would get like so anxious, like my anxiety got so bad that I had to like start canceling photo shoots. I would cancel photo shoots last minute because I was just too anxious to go. So I started canceling photo shoots, and I started like withdrawing from relationships, and I would just spend like hours just analyzing my photos, analyzing myself in the mirror, my face and my body, just hours, like agonizing over my own image. It was really depressing and destructive, and like focusing on my image so much really sucked a lot of the joy out of my life. And also like because this was a time before body positivity, we would just like trade tips on like thinspiration tips, and like yeah, like we would trade thinspiration advice about how to lose weight, and how to make sure that no one would notice that you're not eating, just among ourselves. And like we didn't realize how dysfunctional that was. And then I cancelled too many photo shoots last minute, and so my modeling agency basically dropped me as a client. They said they couldn't work with me anymore because I cancelled too many photo shoots. And the reason I cancelled photo shoots was because like I was so anxious from starving myself to be perfect enough that like I couldn't think straight, I couldn't focus, I couldn't do anything at all. Like I couldn't function because I was so hungry. And so in the end, like I couldn't even do the photo shoots. I couldn't even attend them because I was like too anxious to even function. And then I didn't do any modeling for a really long time. And then I got back into it a bit, and I did some photo shoots and also some like Instagram modeling. And I guess with Instagram modeling, like you have more control over it. You can kind of just do it from your own home. But when I started doing photo shoots again, I was still dissociating, like photo shoots still made me dissociate, and I would often dissociate through the whole photo shoot. So mentally, it was really damaging. Now I haven't done any modeling in a long while, and I try to avoid looking at myself too much these days because it makes me dissociate. These days, I think I'm pretty happy without modeling, but the experience definitely taught me a lot. Like it taught me how to pose for photos and how to handle rejection. Ultimately, I feel like most of the girls who I have known have found modeling really destructive for their self-confidence and their mental state. I'm sure that there are different stories. I'm sure that some people have an overwhelmingly positive experience, but that was my personal experience in the modeling industry. Thank you for watching this video. You're beautiful. You're perfect. I love you. God bless you. If you're new, like and subscribe to my channel.